Hello fellow sim racers. Today's video is a preview of a new Assetto Corsa car that's in the works from United Racing Design. They're calling it the Bayro EGT, but you and I know it as the winner of the GTE class at the 2019 24 Hours of Daytona. First of all, I make no apologies for the thumbnail image. When Alice from United Racing Design sent me this work-in-progress model of the Bayro EGT last week, I knew what had to be done. It's an old joke, but I think it's still got legs. So I've been testing out the car for the last few days while getting more and more hyped for Daytona. And like everyone else watching the race yesterday, I was quite surprised when the musical chairs stopped after the final 8 hours of ridiculousness that this car was left the fortunate victor. So for me, it's rather fitting that I get to make this video today. You may have seen a flurry of activity from United Racing Design of late, and a lot of that relates to GTE cars. They've recently upgraded their Detroit model to include new features like position indicator panels, wet tyres and configurable LED lighting. And they look to be bringing those same upgrades to the other available GTE cars like the 911 RSR and the Corvette. And it's worth remembering that URD were involved in the original production of the latter. With the renewed interest in Assetto Corsa and in particular endurance racing thanks to the Sol mod, I can see this commitment to bringing the GTE grid up to current standards being very popular. So, with the context surrounding the mod out of the way, onto the car itself. The version I've been sent is a work in progress, and as such the interior hasn't yet been completed. But from the outside, things are really starting to come together. Compared to the photos I took at Silverstone last year, it definitely looks the part, and I really can't wait until skin makers take on the task of creating authentic World Endurance Championship and WeatherTech liveries for the car. Ales has said that we can expect the appropriate LED lights and position indicator panels to be added before the release as well. Also of note is the inclusion of wet weather tyres, which you may have also seen on the Detroit GTE car update that was released over the weekend. As the interior remains unfinished, I've agreed not to take the camera inside. But I can tell you that what has been implemented thus far certainly looks the part as well. On the track, the early signs are also very good. Obviously, the main points of comparison are the URD Detroit and the 911 RSR and Corvette from Kunos. And perhaps, as you would expect, the car behaves like a combination of the Detroit and the Corvette. Being front-engined, it's less willing to rotate on turn-in than the mid-engine Detroit and will need careful use of your left foot to get the nose of the car into the apex. But once it's there, balancing the car mid-corner and throughout the acceleration phase feels very intuitive. Force feedback's communicative and perhaps unsurprisingly is reminiscent of the Detroit car. Like many Assetto Corsa cars, I did feel that I had to turn up the car-specific force feedback value a little to make sure that the more subtle details could be felt. This can lead to occasional clipping in very fast corners like Blanchimont or Stowe, but I've always felt that that was a good compromise. And honestly, I think this is something I've done with about half of the cars I've driven in Assetto Corsa, whether official content or mod. Also noteworthy is the stock setup, which, at least for my driving style, feels very good indeed, which really isn't always the case with mod cars or indeed official content for that matter. All in all, the version of the Bayro EGT that I've been driving over the last few days feels good and looks very promising. As it stands, I don't think the balance of performance is finalised yet, and the car does feel a little bit quicker than its competitors, though that's based more on my gut feel and I've not really conducted anything that approaches something you might call empirical testing. We've seen from both the real world and from other mods that BOP is notoriously difficult to nail and it varies from circuit to circuit, so in short, take my words with a pinch of salt. For me, the enduring appeal of Assetto Corsa is in the racing of GT cars, past and present. And thanks to the Sol mod and the shaders patch, the game is now much more suited to such pursuits. When URD unveiled the Detroit last year, it really helped make present-day GTE a viable class in Assetto Corsa, and the Bayro only makes things better. There's been a lot of focus on the real-world car this weekend, thanks to a high-profile drive from the beyond legendary Alex Zanardi in the 24 car, and of course the fortunate win by the sister car. So I for one am very happy to see this car coming to Assetto Corsa in the very near future. URD couldn't give me an exact release date, but from my conversations I expect it to be very soon. So that brings us to the end of this preview of the new GTE car from United Racing Design. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then it would be great if you could hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you think the video will be helpful for others, then please consider sharing it. As always, thank you for donating your precious free time by watching. It is very much appreciated. So all that's left to say is goodbye, thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.